During Shaquille O'Neal's prime, Kobe Bryant actually helped Tim Duncan snatch away his first championship. After winning back-to-back titles, the second-year Duncan and third-year Kobe forged a league legend, with their sights set squarely on a three-peat. Meanwhile, in San Antonio, Shaq was already eager to taste the flavor of a championship.
Therefore, during the 2000 offseason, San Antonio once again embarked on a sweeping recruitment campaign. After a series of bold trades, Marshall replaced Grant. And with the growth of Kidd and Carter, the Spurs' roster depth remained unmatched in the league. Moreover, the addition of young players such as Swift, Terry, and Lagerfeld further ensures the team's future is boundless. While other top teams in the league are actively strengthening their rosters, the Lakers remain calm and composed. They are confident that the growth of Kobe and Duncan alone is enough to contend for a three-peat. However, one team has caught the Lakers' attention, the Denver Nuggets. In their lineup, they have rising stars of the league like Tracy McGrady and Dirk Nowitzki, seasoned veterans like David Robinson, and promising talents such as Lamar Odom and Larry Hughes. At most, by next season, they could become a formidable threat to the Lakers and the Spurs. As it turns out, the Lakers were not blindly confident. After Duncan secured the MVP award for the third consecutive year, the Lakers stormed to a 68-win record, maintaining their top position in the Western Conference. Kobe was also selected for the All-NBA First Team and All-Defensive First Team for the second consecutive year. Along with Eddie Jones, who made the All-Defensive Second Team, the young Lakers demonstrated terrifying dominance. More importantly, they maintained excellent health. This alone added an extra layer of security to their championship. After all, the Nuggets missed the playoffs due to David Robinson's knee injury, and the Spurs struggled nervously because of Carter's absence due to injury. After successfully advancing past the first round, they faced the Lakers in the second round. As the saying goes, when enemies meet, their eyes blaze with fury. Last season, although the Lakers swept the Spurs in a gentlemanly fashion, they also suffered from Shaquille O'Neal's dominant performance in the paint. Therefore, this season, the Lakers showed no sympathy for Carter's injury and brutally swept the Spurs without mercy. Compared to the brotherly unity and combined strength of Duncan and Kobe, O'Neal indeed seemed somewhat isolated and struggling. Carter, who had just recovered from injury, hadn't even regained his form before the series was completely over. After defeating the Spurs, the Lakers faced the Timberwolves led by Kevin Garnett in the Western Conference Finals. With their dominant lineup, the Lakers easily defeated their opponents 40-0 and advanced to the NBA Finals. Their opponents are the Philadelphia 76ers, who have dominated the Eastern Conference for 3 consecutive years. Despite losing to the Lakers in the past 2 years, the 76ers have never yielded to them. After adding Ben Wallace to the roster in Game 1 of the series, with just 1.5 minutes left in the game, the 76ers were still keeping the score close. However, the Lakers seem to have taken control of the game to another level. Suddenly, the Lakers began to exert their dominance. Kobe first hit a bank shot from mid-range, then used a drive to break through the 76ers defense. After drawing a double team, he dished the ball to Jones on the perimeter, who drained another three-peat. After Iverson managed to break through for a layup, Kobe faced another double team this time. It was Van Exel who was ready to finish the play. In what seemed like just an instant, the game was completely decided, and yet, this was almost the best performance the 76ers could muster against the Lakers. After suffering a crushing defeat in the second game, they were never able to withstand the Lakers' overwhelming dominance. Despite losing battle after battle, Allen Iverson still earned the respect of every Lakers player. It is important to know that throughout the entire 2001 playoffs, the Lakers only lost one game, and Allen Iverson, on his way to the finals, absolutely deserved the title of one of the top 2 shooting guards in the league. While Finals MVP Kobe Bryant was undoubtedly formidable, the Lakers were essentially a team with 4 superstars and excelled both offensively and defensively. Of course, even after failing to overthrow the Lakers' dominance 3 times in a row, Allen Iverson never considered defecting. Instead, after congratulating the Lakers on establishing a three-peat dynasty, he made a pact with Kobe Bryant to battle again the following year. Time quickly moved to the offseason of 2001. Under Shaq's urging, the Spurs continued to recruit strong reinforcements. Jalen Rose, Robert Horry, and Cuttino Mobley became Shaq's new teammates. The championship banners of the Lakers have also attracted a former superstar, Scottie Pippen, who once competed alongside Michael Jordan. This has further compelled other teams to intensify their efforts in strengthening their rosters. However, as Kobe Bryant in 2002 grew into the new regular season MVP, the Lakers' strength also reached a new height. Although the formula remained the familiar combination of Kobe and Duncan as all-NBA first-team selections, with Jones making the all-defensive second team, this year marked the true peak of Kobe and Duncan's individual abilities. Their 69-win regular season record is enough to show that they have quietly completed further upgrades. Of course, the Western Conference at this time is not dominated solely by the Lakers. For example, the Denver Nuggets, who swept their first-round series to advance, and the San Antonio Spurs, who easily eliminated the Minnesota Timberwolves 3-1. It is important to note that the Timberwolves were a Western Conference Finals team last season, so both the Nuggets and the Spurs are highly likely to play the role of the spoiler in ending the Lakers' four-peat. Therefore, in the second round, the Lakers must be cautious when facing the fully healthy Spurs team. Once the game began, Carter made the first move, but Bryant was not one to back down. He aggressively attacked from both the perimeter and inside, playing with an intensity that seemed determined to dominate Carter and prove he was the superior player. After being blocked by the Sharks' help defense, he immediately bounced back, displaying an exceptionally tough competitive spirit. In comparison, the Spurs played with greater discipline, as they certainly did not want to become the Lakers' stepping stone once again. However, the Lakers' defense rarely shows any lapses, which led to the Spurs failing to close the gap for over 2 minutes during the final quarter. After a period of silence, the Lakers suddenly awakened like a fierce dragon, with Kobe unleashing his arsenal uncontrollably. No matter how brilliantly the Spurs operated or how Shaq dominated D-Vac, Kobe remained like a cold-blooded assassin, calmly and ruthlessly dismantling the opponent's morale bit by bit. In the heat of the moment, Kobe even took the initiative to provoke the Big Diesel. After Kobe finally missed his shot, Duncan leaped out from the crowd and delivered a powerful slam dunk. Judging solely from the remaining time in Game 1, Kobe and Duncan were already operating on a different level of performance, while Shaq was undoubtedly a force of nature, relying on him alone. Even if he shattered the backboard, was still like fighting a battle with 2 fists against 4 hands. Kobe and Duncan's exceptional offensive and defensive abilities, even allowing for Van Exel's 4 for -16 shooting, meant that all Shaq could do was hope his teammates would provide strong support in the second game. At the very beginning of the second game, Carter quickly got into form, and the Shark dominated the paint on the offensive end. He repeatedly broke through the Lakers' restricted area. However, the game wasn't just about offense. The Spurs would often score 2 points on offense, only to quickly give up 2 or even 3 points on defense. Apart from Kidd, the remaining players either lack top-tier defensive skills or show little willingness to defend. Therefore, it was both unexpected and reasonable that the Spurs suffered an even more brutal beating from the Lakers in the second game. The gap between them and the Lakers isn't just about skill. Otherwise, how could Kobe, who shot 9 out of 14, have the lowest field goal percentage among the Lakers' 5 starters? The real issue they face is actually a defensive one. If this problem cannot be resolved, the Lakers' 4 All-Stars will undoubtedly become unstoppable. Fortunately, when they were almost at a point of no retreat, they finally corrected their defensive attitude. As a result, while Shaq dominated the paint on offense, the Lakers were restricted by the Spurs in the final quarter, falling into a scoring drought.
Spurs with the rebound. They took a shot from that far out, a highly questionable shot selection.
The ball is passed to O'Neal. Shaq slams it home to finish the play.
Two-handed dunks are considered more reliable, or so it is said.
Shaq powerfully grabs the rebound. San Antonio is closing in. The ball is in Kidd's hands. The ball was passed to Shaquille O'Neal. He jumps up for a layup and scores off the glass.
This pass was perfectly delivered right in front of him.
D-Vac gets the ball, and the Big Shark delivers a block. That is Kidd. The ball is passed inside. Shaq shoots over D-Vac. Great shot. He narrowed the gap to 2 points.
With Shaquille's terrifying dominance in the paint, the Spurs quickly narrowed the gap to just 2 points. While the defensive focus of all Spurs players was concentrated on Kobe and Duncan, Nick Van Exel stepped up. He decisively took the shot, and as the ball bounced into the basket, the lead was restored to 2 possessions. The Spurs quickly called a timeout. The remaining 23.7 seconds could very well determine the fate of their entire season.
On the perimeter, Kidd lobs the ball toward the basket.
Eddie Jones truly lives up to his reputation as a perennial member of the all-defensive team. After the Lakers executed this crucial steal, they firmly seized control of the game. The Spurs were forced to repeatedly resort to foul tactics, hoping to create an opportunity to close the gap. Unfortunately, as Van Exel's free throws kept going in, the Spurs were helplessly forced to concede the game point. However, when O'Neal alone delivered a terrifying stat line of 35 points, 21 rebounds, and 4 blocks, yet still couldn't secure a victory, the Spurs' path forward truly lost all hope. Duncan and Kobe made him experience utter despair. Kobe was like the Duncan among shooting guards, and Duncan was like the Kobe among power forwards. Both could dominate with relentless offense and were equally formidable on both ends of the court. Driven by an overwhelming desire to win, everyone had hoped the Spurs would avenge their previous defeat, but they were still swept in a humiliating fashion. After the Spurs were eliminated, the Lakers secured their 4th championship without suspense, as the Nuggets power forward Nowitzki suffered a severe injury to his right foot, significantly diminishing their combat effectiveness. Meanwhile, the 76ers' ceiling had always been limited to advancing from the Eastern Conference. Therefore, when Kobe lifted his second Finals MVP trophy, the Lakers' impact far surpassed that of the Bulls' first 3 championships, because Kobe and Duncan's careers were just beginning and retirement was not on their minds. This plunged the remaining players into deep despair. In a desperate bid to overthrow the Lakers' dominance, Shaquille O'Neal, seeing no hope of winning a championship, chose to leave the San Antonio Spurs and join the Denver Nuggets. Unfortunately, Dirk Nowitzki's rookie contract had already expired. After signing Shaq, the Nuggets, unable to afford Dirk's renewal, had no choice but to let him go, watching helplessly as Dirk joined the Houston Rockets. It seems that the highlight of the next season will undoubtedly be the showdown between the duo of Shaq and McGrady against Kobe and Duncan. Will the Lakers dynasty be overthrown? Brothers, to find out what happens next, stay tuned for the next installment.
He seized the opportunity for a second chance play.